Hello, Raw Mithril here once again. And yeah, we're just gonna skip past this intro. I've already shown it before, and it's a bloody long one. So yes, we're moving on to the Mega Man 10 Perfect Run series. Let's do this! So for those of you out there who really want to see the full intro for the game, I have a link in my video description to the first video of my Mega Man 10 Blind Run series, which I did when the game first came out. The intro is there in its entirety. It's just quite long and I didn't really see the need to film it and show it twice. So for now, let's just start up a new game. So as usual, I'll be playing as Mega Man. And since I use the most default difficulty, we'll be doing normal mode. So here we are on the stage select screen. 8 new Robot Masters for us to enjoy. Wonderful! So this time around, I put it to a vote as to where I should start. This poll has been running for quite some time due to some projects taking a bit longer than I really expected them to. So with 382 votes out of 1,398, a respectable 27% of the results, it's Solar Man's time to shine. And it's time to enjoy the awesome Boss Select remix. Alright, let's do this. So for those out there wondering, I am indeed using a classic controller this time around. Hopefully that'll cut down on the weapon switching problems I had during the blind run. That was getting fairly ridiculous. So that was a Yonbane, our first new enemy of the game. We also have Waltriot, but there's not too much to say about them, other than the fact that they fire homing missiles. Apparently Yonbane is Japanese for quadruple, which makes sense because if you give them enough time, they will split up to 4 times. Depending on if they're horizontally or vertically aligned, that determines how they'll split. And this is Sola O. Yes, I know, it's a sunflower and not a desk lamp, but in all fairness, the squished resolution of the game bridge, it kinda makes it look like a desk lamp to me. The tackle fires can actually be destroyed, but they take a good number of hits to do so. I think you actually do have to do so for one of the achievements in the game, though. I want my shiny! And run! So yes, Yonbane can split, and a maximum of 4 can be on the screen at one time. So here we have the mid-boss, Suzak and Phoenix. Which is which? Who knows? I find it easier to stay closer to the one that's in the air at the time. This makes it easier to dodge their fire, and gives you more warning when they're going to do the Heatman teleport. Really, this fight kinda feels like Heatman times 2. Once one of them's gone, things are at least a little less hectic, but that doesn't mean you're quite out of the woods yet. You still have to be careful for when they're gonna do that. Alright, let's get out of here. So the tackle fire dispensers are on the side walls now, and a little more problematic to deal with thus, but still not too terribly bad. Tackle fire dispensers. Wasn't that Hothead's job? Poor guy, he's out of work. So we can't quite jump high enough to get that bolt, but we can kinda speedrun this room if you're so inclined. Why not? There, that went nicely enough. Now things are getting all fancy on us. There's a bit of a branching path here, but you know me, I want the shinies. Besides, it's a quick enough detour, so why not? This leads us to an E-tank. If you had the commando bomb, you can actually go through that wall up there, for a bit of a safer shortcut. Okay, climb, let's get out of here. We're almost through. Time to deal with Solar Man. His weapon of choice is the Solar Blaze. Solar Man can be a little tricky to deal with. You want to keep semi-close to him, but not too close, or he'll try and headbutt you. Try your best to avoid shooting the sun, because if you do, you actually power him up a bit. Not as far as life goes, but it does make his shots bigger and harder to dodge. Overall, you want to stick to the middle platform as much as possible. Basically, it's just a matter of watching how he jumps. And doing your best not to get cornered by him. Thus, going to the outer walls is kind of a bad idea. And there, Solar Man is down. Already we've made headway into the game. Excellent. Thus we've acquired the Solar Blaze. Now it might look a bit delayed, but it does detonate on contact with enemies. The spread effect can be quite nice sometimes. So let's go ahead and just make this safe state 8. That's easy enough to keep track of. Yeah, double save for good measure because I hit the wrong button. So, 1 down, 7 to go. This stage wasn't quite as bad as I feared, but it did certainly have its problems. Enjoy some outtakes. So now we have the mid-boss, Suzak and Phoenix. Excellent jump. Bugger. It takes a fair number of hits to actually take one of them down. Once one is gone, things are at least a little less hectic. Oh, ow! You just couldn't make up your mind what you wanted to do, you blasted birds. But you can kind of speedrun this room if you're so inclined. Or you can run right into a tackle fire. That works too. Yay! Oi. The tackle fires actually can be My commentary can actually be interrupted. Oi. Once one is down, it's a little bit easier. Or at any rate, a bit less hectic. Anyway, never mind. It's always the birds! Now to continue on the correct path. And run right into a tackle fire. Ugh. That was just dumb. Tackle fire dispensers. Not watching where I'm going. It's interesting to contemplate these things. So the difficulty changes on Solar Man are actually pretty simple to see. So first let's check out his easy mode fight. Yeah, that's kinda pathetic. On easy mode, Solar Man starts off with his smallest form of the Solar Blaze. You can still power it up, though, by accidentally shooting the sun, but it's such a tiny target. After a few shots, it will go back down to that anyway. Also notably, he can only take shorter jumps in easy mode, meaning he can only fire up to one Solar Blaze at a time. So overall, this one's pretty easy, and Solar Man is fairly lenient here. This isn't too hectic a fight, so I can go ahead and talk about the fact that Solar Man's weakness is the water shield, and that just absolutely decimates him because it can also douse his solar blaze. So yeah, there's really not much to worry about here on easy mode. That was simple enough. Now hard mode, that's where you really wish you had the water shield. I know I do. Yeah, that's a good deal more intimidating, that. On hard mode, he starts with his highest power level right from the start. That makes things a bit tricky. He can also jump clear across the room, leaving 3 solar blazes. So that's a bit tricky to dodge. Also, when he gets to the sides, sometimes he can use a special attack. But you almost want him to. It's not too terribly tricky to dodge it if you're careful, and you can also get in 4 good shots usually while he's charging it up. There we go. The solar blazes in that instance, they don't go all the way down to the ground before they erupt. They go as soon as they're on your level, so be ready to jump and carefully. As hectic as it seems, it does seem to make the fight go a bit faster actually, due to how long he's open during that. Basically, you just don't want to get greedy during that time period. But there we go. Yeah, that one's hectic on hard. And thus we have our foothold into Mega Man 10. Excellent! Though for all my worry, Solar Man actually didn't end up being all that bad. I suppose I'll have to look for nightmares elsewhere. Solar Man only gets a 2 out of 10 for me. The stage seems intimidating at first, but once you get used to it, it's actually pretty fun and not too hard to get through unscathed. There are even areas where you can have fun speedrunning a bit. Case in point, I believe Kit was trying his best to speedrun this one for a while. Some of the tackle fire areas can be a bit tricky until you get the hang of them, but then they're quite simple. The only real threat posed in the stage is Suzak and Phoenix, and even they aren't that bad if you're careful. As for Solar Man, he seems to fit the same pattern as the rest of the stage. He's intimidating at first, but once you take the time to really watch him and learn how to react to him, he's pretty simple. Dodging the solar blaze starts to become second nature if you spend enough time fighting him. Even on hard mode, when he gains his extra attack, that's more fun than really hard. The other characters, they don't really have too much that they add to making this stage easier, though Bass can aim upwards at Suzak and Phoenix to make that fight go faster. He can even do so during Solar Man's jumps if you're so inclined. So, all in all, 2 out of 10 for Solar Man. Now then, on the subject of the other characters, this time, I'm not doing this alone. Obviously, I'm handling the Mega Man side of things, but a couple of good friends have joined me in this series. First off, Pink is once more donning the head fins and dash boots, taking on the base perfect runs. But then, there is another. Yes, Shagg has joined in on the fun as well, stepping into the shade visor and yellow scarf of Proto Man. There is also the matter of a pink bow. He's playing by slightly different rules, but still, it's awesome to have him along for the ride. There will be links to their channels in the video description, so please, I urge you to go check them out as well, and hopefully this will be a fun project for everyone involved. So with that, that's the end of this one. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I shall see you again next time. Until then, fare thee well.